everyone, it's Justin here. I hope you all are doing well. So in this video I want to talk about the under-discussed harsh realities of the digital nomad lifestyle. But before I get into that, I have to go up to the roof and collect my laundry. I know it sounds strange, but just trust me on this. Alright, so accompany me. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you where I am, but once we get to the roof, you should be able to figure it out. It's always, I'm gonna set down the camera because I gotta use both hands here. So you can get an action shot of me opening the door. Right. Yeah, I know it's been a long time since I posted a video. I really want to do better about posting videos regularly. If you enjoy my content, then maybe drop me a comment and say, hey, yeah, you should definitely produce more videos, or you can be a jerk and say, no, I don't like your videos, stop producing them. All right, the roof. By now you've probably got a pretty good idea of which country I'm in. Yep, there's my laundry. And check this out. Yeah, so if you don't know by now, I am in Mexico City. This is a crazy mega city. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. There's always stuff going on here. But over there in the distance is, I don't know if the camera's picking it up very well, but that's the Castillo de Chapultepec Castle. And then we just have a lot of modern skyscrapers over here. This is, these skyscrapers are along a street called Reforma. So Reforma is one of the, well, it's Paseo de la Reforma. It's one of the main streets here in Mexico City. It's basically the financial district. But I am going to just, and obviously it's Mexico City, so of course there is a lot of traffic and a lot of honking. But yeah, this is my Airbnb and this is the roof. So I think it's a pretty cool spot to film a video, so why not? So yeah, like I said in this video, I want to talk about the harsh realities of the digital nomad lifestyle. And you might be thinking, oh, well, if you can live a digital nomad lifestyle, then isn't that great? Like, your life is perfect. Like, that's what everybody attains to have. They want to have a lifestyle where they can just travel whenever and wherever. And yeah, I mean, that's how I was thinking about things. I mean, I love to travel. I've been traveling for a long time. And I was thinking, once you can travel whenever and wherever, you've got it made. Like, that's the dream lifestyle. And I've been living as a digital nomad more or less for about 3 years. Probably been to around 25 countries in that time frame, maybe 30. I don't really it's hard to keep track, honestly. But one thing that bothers me is a lot of these digital nomads out there, they often portray the lifestyle as everything's perfect, everything's cool, You should try to be more like me and live this lifestyle. And obviously they're trying to sell you stuff while they're doing that. I mean, I'm a digital marketer, I understand how all of that stuff works, but I just kind of want to, you know, take things down a few notches and just kind of talk, like have a real talk moment, and just kind of explain like what it's been like for me over the past 3 years, living this lifestyle, working online, traveling all over the world. So I guess what I really want to get out in this video is the digital nomad lifestyle is nice for a while. I think it's a good thing to do for a few years, but anybody that's lived this lifestyle for a long time, if they're being honest with you, they'll let you know that it's not a sustainable lifestyle. At some point you've got to kind of hang your coat on a hook somewhere. And that doesn't mean that you're like never traveling again. And I apologize if these people honking down here are a distraction. They're definitely distracting me. But this is where I am. This is where I live. I'm here for a month, and yeah, there's just a lot of honking, especially during rush hour. But yeah, so you need a place to hang your coat, a place where you can lie your head, a place that you can call home. And I've been traveling throughout my travels, which one thing that's great about the digital nomad lifestyle is you get to travel around and you get a feel for what countries you like, which countries you don't like. And then you can basically say, hey, out of all my travels, I really like this specific country, and I'm gonna stay here. So that's basically what happened with me in Mexico. It's just kind of a coincidence that I'm from Texas originally, and Mexico, it's very close to where I grew up, but it happens to be, out of all the places I've traveled, Mexico is the best fit for me and my business, and my personal preferences in terms of food, climate, all of that stuff. But getting back into the harsh realities of the lifestyle that people don't really discuss, especially on the internet, especially whenever they're trying to sell the lifestyle to you, is the fact that traveling constantly, like most people, their only experience with travel is they're taking like a week or 2 weeks off of their 9 to 5, and they're just like going to a beach and relaxing, and like that is their idea of travel or vacation. Whereas whenever you're a digital nomad, you're constantly on the go, and you're also working while you're traveling. So it's not a vacation, it's like a workcation. That's the word that I like to use, where you're combining work and you're combining vacation. But I mean, there's been some times where I'm in a brand new city and I'm so swamped with work that I literally can barely do any sightseeing. It's as if I didn't even visit the city, which is a big shame, and it's a big con of like traveling as a digital nomad. Whereas if you like take a gap year or something and you can really just go all in, on traveling, and also travel to more remote places where the internet isn't as good. That's been a big hindrance for me in my travels. Sure, I've been to a lot of places, but I almost always have to stick to big cities or places with reasonably good internet connection. I can't just go, I mean, it'd be amazing to like go to like remote Patagonia and go hiking there, or like go deep into the Amazon jungle. But, and also like loads of places in like Africa, which still don't have great internet connectivity. Like there's loads of places that I'd like to go, but if I'm disconnected from the internet, then I'm disconnected from my work, I'm disconnected from pretty much everything that I need to survive. So like there is the argument to be made that if you're trying to really travel and see the world, maybe the digital nomad lifestyle is not the best strategy for that. I mean, you can make the argument that over time you're gonna be, just because you have the ability to travel so much and for so long, like over the course of many years, then yeah, you'll get to see more places over the long run, as opposed to somebody that just takes a gap year and they just try to travel as much as they can within that one gap year. But for me, a big negative of the digital nomad lifestyle is just how whenever you arrive somewhere new, you're starting from square one every single time, and it's like everything starts over from the very basics. Like you have to go on Google Maps and find the nearest grocery store, the nearest, sometimes the nearest laundromat. You don't know anything about the restaurants. You don't know which restaurants are good, which restaurants are going to give you food poisoning. You don't know any of that stuff. And starting that over like 100 times, that gets really, really old. And so at my point, like I said, I've been doing this for 3 years, kind of traveling, bouncing all over the place. I've really gotten to the point where it's not that I want to stop traveling. It's just that I want to settle down in one place and, you know, really hang my coat somewhere, like have proper residency or citizenship, that is, have my own property, have a good network of friends in one specific place. That's the other thing. You're starting over with your network, your social network, every time you go to a new city, which is great in the aspect that you're meeting a lot of new people and you're expanding your network. But then it sucks whenever you leave a week later or a month later and you start over, square one, and you don't know anybody in the city that you're currently in. And so I've pretty much decided that Mexico is where I want to be long term. Not specifically Mexico City. I'm just here for a month, just because I've never really lived in a mega city long term, and I thought it would be interesting to give it a shot. And yeah, like all this honking, ambulances, there's just so many people here. Like, this city is bigger than New York City. It doesn't really seem that way, like if you just look at, say, the skyline. Like, obviously there's way more skyscrapers in a place like New York City, but the thing about Mexico City is it's a horrible place to build skyscrapers. Like these skyscrapers right here, so much money went into building these things because they have to be so tolerant to earthquakes. I mean, like, these skyscrapers, they have like dampeners built into them in case there's a major earthquake. This is one of the most seismologically active places on the planet. It's significantly more seismologically active than California, to put it into perspective for you. And also, this city was built on a lake bed, which is a horrible foundation for a city, so it's sinking a lot. Like, you'll notice that some buildings are just like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I mean, not that extreme, but they're obviously lopsided. But for those reasons, like the seismological activity and the poor foundation, there's not that many skyscrapers in this city. But yeah, after being here I've been here for 2 weeks now. I've got 2 more weeks, and yeah, I definitely prefer the more like second tier cities, like Guadalajara. Like, I have a very popular video on this YouTube channel where I talk about why I like to live in Guadalajara. That's where I plan on hanging my coat. But I like the second tier cities because they're more affordable, and you just don't have to deal with as many problems that come along with such a big city like this, where you've got so much noise, so much traffic. And when I say traffic, I'm talking about traffic of all forms. Traffic in terms of cars, traffic of bicycles, traffic of people. There's a really good metro system here in Mexico City, but it is just so crowded sometimes you can't even use it. Like, you have to wait for 3 or 4 trains before you can even get on one. So it's things like that. But yeah, I know I've been rambling for quite a while now. Just been doing this all off the top of my head. No script really. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but for the moment I am going to sign off. right, so I just finished packing up my laundry. It's right over there in my reusable bag. And that sock over there, that is not mine. That is a stray sock that has been there for at least a week. But just to conclude this video, just some final thoughts. I just want you all to be aware that the digital nomad lifestyle is not necessarily all that it's cracked up to be. I think it's a good thing to do for a few years. I don't really have any regrets of doing it for the past few years. But as I told you earlier, I'm definitely looking forward to having a place that I can actually call home. And it's also important to realize that, you know, your average digital nomad, they're not going to be showing you the drudgery of daily life. Like, okay, I'm a digital nomad, and you just saw me doing laundry. Like, okay, sure, it's laundry on a cool roof, but it's still laundry. And, you know, it's this whole Instagram thing where people just want to show you the highlights of their life. It's just social media in general. It just kind of promotes people showing you only the best side of things. And sure, there's a lot of great highlights if you're a digital nomad and you're bouncing around a lot, because you just get to see so many cool things in so many different countries, and you get exposed to so many different cultures. But there's also a lot of stuff that's not so fun, like being lonely because you're in a city where you don't know anybody, or you want some food and you have no idea where a good restaurant is. I mean, I know some of these things might sound petty, but another thing is not being able to find an outlet when you really need an outlet. Or also like this whole concept of people like working on beaches. Yeah, that doesn't work too well. First of all, the glare is horrendous, and you don't want sand anywhere near an expensive computer. So, I mean, most digital nomads, their pictures are them working on the beach, but in reality, they're probably working in some building that looks like this, in the dark. But yeah, it's just an important thing to keep in mind, that everybody is, you know, people in general are not showing you all facets of their life, and you need to take everything with a grain of salt, or a pound of salt, however you want to look at it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. I'm gonna be returning to Guadalajara in 2 weeks. Really looking forward to that. It's been a while since I was back there, and yeah, hopefully within the next few years that place will truly be my home. But until then, I'm gonna enjoy the traffic, the noise, the pollution. Like, don't get me wrong, Mexico City, you have to visit it. It's an amazing city. It's a phenomenal place to visit, but I personally would never want to live here. But you gotta come visit sometime. And yeah, for all of you out there that are going, oh, Mexico, dangerous. Yeah, there are some dangerous parts of Mexico, and you have to, you know, be more cautious here than in some other countries. But same thing goes with the media. Like, whenever I say be skeptical of people, I mean be skeptical in a general sense, and that includes the media. I've spent over a year in Mexico. I've been to around 25 states in Mexico. There's about 33 in total. And it's a phenomenal country to visit. It's a phenomenal country to live in as well, especially if you have a setup like me where you're working online, making US dollars, living here, spending pesos. It's a pretty good life. Way less stressful than being in the US. And if you know, abide by common sense, you don't try to get mixed in with the wrong crowd, you're probably gonna be just fine. I think that the benefits of visiting a country like this far outweigh any risks of coming here. And yes, Mexico City for sure. It's a great place to visit. All right, well, I think that's everything for now. Hasta luego, ciao, goodbye. I'm signing off. If you like this video, please drop a like. That helps with the algorithm. Also, I'd be thrilled if you would subscribe. I'm at about 62 subscribers now, and that's amazing. That's great. But honestly, those are rookie numbers. We got to pump those numbers up. All right, until next time.